The Thing finally gets his hands on a cure to turn human again. But of course, there's a catch. It only works 1 week a year. Still, that's better than nothing, so he decides to go for it. Johnny Storm sticks around to make sure nothing goes sideways, and after a brutal transformation that makes Ben scream in pain, Johnny looks at him, eyes wide in horror, and goes, "Oh man, you look even worse now." In a rage, Ben rushes to the mirror, only to realize Johnny was messing with him. Ben cusses him out, but once the frustration fades, he just stands there, admiring his human face for the first time in years. Johnny, still grinning, tells Ben they have to celebrate. So they do. For once, Ben walks through New York without worrying about people staring. They catch a football game, play poker with some Marvel heroes, and even sit down for dinner with none other than Stan Lee and Jack Kirby themselves. It's the perfect day. But of course, trouble finds them. Late at night, a gang tries to jump them, and Ben, who hasn't been able to punch a normal guy in years, absolutely relishes the moment. After taking them down, he and Johnny ride through the city, the wind in their hair, the lights reflecting off the streets. And then Johnny asks, is 1 week a year really enough? Ben, looking out at the city he loves, just smiles. I'll cherish every moment. Finally, they reach their last stop, Alicia's place. Ben hesitates, nervous, but in the end he goes to her. She's stunned to see him human again, and as Ben steps inside, Johnny watches from the street, arms crossed, smiling. Good for you, Ben. But there's another twist. Turns out, as the Thing, Ben barely ages. Since he's only human 1 week a year, he's now basically immortal. Reed and his father build a time machine to see just how long he really lives. Jumping to the year 3012, they find New York thriving, a utopia. The Baxter Building is still standing, and Ben, still the Thing, is fighting off a Skrull invasion with the new Fantastic Four. Curious, they push further, to year 4012. There, an older bearded Ben gives a speech at a graduation ceremony, thanking Reed for everything and wishing he were there to see it. They jump even further, the year 5012. Now Ben is ancient. He sits alone on a bench, talking to statues of his fallen friends. They all think I'm crazy, he mutters, because nobody remembers how things used to be. Finally, they go to year 6012, and there at last, they find his grave. Ben Grimm, after 4,000 years, has finally passed away. The answer to his fate is clear. Reed, silent, takes it all in. And then back in the present, he does something unexpected. He grabs 2 beers and heads to Ben. Handing him one, he cracks his open and takes a sip. Ben, confused, looks at him. Don't you gotta whip up some anti-doomsday serum or save the world? Reed just shrugs. Nah. Takes another sip. Ben watches him for a second, then smiles, shaking his head. I miss you too.